Can I draw characters in a way so they look just like Honkai Star Rail splash art illustrations? What did I learn from studying Honkai Star Rail's art style and character designs? Are my character designs suited for drawing them as actual Honkai Star Rail splash arts? Hi, I'm May, and in today's video I'd like to answer those questions as I show you the process of drawing Honkai Star Rail splash arts of my characters. I'll share some information about who I imagine they could be in the Honkai Star Rail world. I already mentioned this in the video where I designed Honkai Star Rail outfits for my characters. This video is kind of like a part 4 to this Honkai Star Rail art style study project, just like back when I analyzed Genshin Impacts art style before. Now let's start with the first character, Yumari. He's the Moon Guardian in his initial design and world. In the Honkai Star Rail world, I describe him as quiet, careful with his words and often keeping to himself. He values introspection and speaks only when necessary, choosing his words thoughtfully. While he may seem distant or cold, those who know him find his presence comforting, like the calm of the moon at night. Personality-wise, 3 words that describe him would be quiet, calming, and reserved. He's a gentle, introverted character who exudes peace and inner balance. As a location where I could see him live, I would choose the Xianzhou Luofu. It's a spiritual and ancient world that fits Yumari's calm, otherworldly nature. The culture's deep-rooted tradition of balance, spirituality, and long-lived species like the Vidyadhara complements Yumari's gentle, reflective personality. That would also lead me to some ideas for his profession or role. To me, he could be a writer of spiritual texts, a healer, or a creator of supportive objects. Some of my first thoughts were that he could specialize in helping others through subtle guidance and careful thought. His calm demeanor and soft-spoken nature could allow him to be someone people turn to for inner peace, much like Bailu. He might work with Cloud Knights or the Vidyadhara, offering insights or healing. Often in the background, he would be highly valued for his wisdom. After thinking about it some more, this seemed a bit too kind of social as a profession or role to me, since I wouldn't see Yumari wanting to directly interact with people for a long time on a daily basis. That's why I thought Yumari's role on the Xianzhou Luofu could involve writing spiritual texts or creating objects that help others indirectly. While not a direct spiritual advisor or healer himself, his work supports those who guide or heal others. Just as the moon reflects the sun's light, Yumari's creations provide comfort, wisdom, and support to people without being directly involved in their healing, allowing him to influence minds and souls quietly and subtly. For Yumari's supportive objects in the Honkai Star Rail world, here are some ideas. First would be moonstone amulets. These enchanted stones provide calming energy and emotional balance. They could help stressed people to relax. Next we have celestial scrolls written with Yumari's wisdom. These scrolls offer subtle, comforting insights for those seeking guidance. Another idea would be tranquil resonance orbs. These orbs produce soothing music, leading to more calm emotions and minds when placed in a room. And finally, as one more supportive object, I'd include reflective lanterns. Designed to emit a soft glow, these lanterns create serene spaces for meditation and reflection, enhancing mental clarity. Next, let's talk a bit about Yumari's interests and hobbies. I could see Yumari enjoying solitary pursuits such as meditation or reading. His fascination with finding calmness and balance in a chaotic world could extend to studying spiritual texts or practicing arts of healing, as well as listening to music. Now for some ideas for what path he could follow. At first I thought Yumari would maybe follow the path of preservation, which focuses on protecting and maintaining peace and order. This path suits his calm, introspective nature, as he would naturally aim to preserve stability and calmness in the world. Then I also had the idea that he could follow the path of remembrance that focuses on memories and would fit Yumari's reflective personality. To me it also has a bit of an elegant vibe which would suit Yumari as well. Now for Yumari's combat type, I was a bit unsure here since I could see him as both a ice or imaginary character. Overall, the imaginary type fits more to him, I think, as it represents illusion and healing. Imaginary abilities allow for subtle manipulation and healing, which aligns with Yumari's quiet but powerful impact on the world. Next, some thoughts about Yumari's weapon. He could wield healing artifacts or staves, which symbolize his role as a healer and guide. His weapon might have soft, glowing features, reflecting the moon's light. Finally, I'd like to mention some Honkai Star Rail characters Yumari would remind me of. First would be Danheng. Like Yumari, Danheng is calm, reserved, and somewhat distant. He doesn't speak unless necessary and prefers solitude, yet he has a comforting presence once you get to know him. Both characters have a quiet strength, helping others from the background, with a tendency to reflect on their past and choices. Another similar character to me would be Gepard. Gepard is protective and disciplined, and although he can seem cold or distant, he has a softer, caring side for those close to him. His duty and sense of responsibility mirror Yumari's gentle but firm character. Other than this, Sunday and Anaxa would also remind me of Yumari here. Now let's move on to the second character, which would be Koru. Originally, he's the Sun Guardian from the same world Yumari is in. Now for my thoughts on who he'd be in the Honkai Star Rail world. Koru is expressive and outgoing, thriving on new experiences and living in the moment. He's confident and rarely dwells on the past, preferring to seize the day with a carefree and adventurous spirit. His personality is warm like the sun, making others feel energized around him. Overall, he's an outgoing, optimistic explorer who embraces every moment of life. 3 words that describe his personality would be adventurous, confident, and vibrant. The Astral Express fits Koru's need for constant adventure and exploration. Koru's lively, outgoing nature would suit the Astral Express, which travels between worlds, allowing him to explore freely. I can also imagine he may assist the work on the Herta space station, reporting his findings from constantly moving between worlds. Koru would enjoy exploring different sciences, environments, and interacting with eccentric figures especially. That would also lead me to his potential profession or role. Koru could be an adventurer or field researcher on the Astral Express, but also working for the Herta space station. His role would involve exploring new worlds, solving real-time problems, or gathering data for research. His energetic nature makes him ideal for traveling, where he can meet new people and immerse himself in new cultures. He is an explorer or field researcher who travels from planet to planet or between worlds, gathering data but never lingering too long in one place. His role would focus on discovering new places or solving real-time problems. Similar to March 7th's outgoing spirit, he could work closely with characters like Himeko or Asta, people with knowledge but who appreciate action-oriented assistance. Next, for Koru's hobbies and interests. Overall, he would love traveling, meeting new people, and embarking on thrilling adventures. He might be interested in extreme sports, discovering ancient ruins, or seeking out challenging missions that push his limits. Here are some ideas for his path. To me, Koru would most likely follow the path of the hunt, representing his drive to actively face challenges. He enjoys pushing forward and fighting head-on, living each moment with intensity and purpose. As a combat type, fire would suit Koru's warm, vibrant, and fiery personality. His abilities could involve bursts of energy, reflecting his bright, optimistic character that uplifts those around him. Fire also fits a lot to the sun in general. For his weapon, I could see Koru wielding a spear or a dual sword, as they symbolize dynamic, fast-paced combat. Matching his action-oriented personality, his weapon would reflect his outgoing nature, with bright, bold designs or flame-like motifs. Now for some Honkai Star Rail characters that fit to Koru to me. First, I'd mention March 7th. She is bubbly, optimistic, and lives in the moment, much like Koru. She doesn't dwell on the past or overthink her actions, but enjoys experiencing life to the fullest. Her cheerful, outgoing nature is contagious and reflects Koru's lively energy. Another similar character to Koru would be Sampo. Is adventurous, carefree, and confident, always going with the flow. Like Koru, he's constantly on the move, thriving on new experiences without worrying about the consequences. He's also known for being a bit of a smooth talker, reflecting Koru's social and outgoing nature. Other than this, Luca and Phanon would remind me of Koru as well. And as an additional aspect, I'd like to mention some thoughts on Yumari and Koru's backstory here. Since they are inspired by the sun and moon, I thought that Yumari's past may be tied to Koru, with their contrasting personalities representing balance, Yumari's introspection versus Koru's vibrant energy. Their history together could revolve around the theme of contrasts and yin and yang, showing how two opposites create harmony. Yumari would be connected to Koru as an opposite force, with his calm demeanor contrasting Koru's sun-like energy. Perhaps they were childhood friends or travelers from a shared world who parted ways, but their connection remains symbolic of balance, moon and sun, introspection versus living in the moment. Yumari retreated into introspection, Koru embraced the excitement of the outside world. They could periodically cross paths, their differences allowing them to teach each other about life's contrasting sides. Now for the third splash art illustration of my characters. This one is for Kira, the Star Guardian from the same world Yumari and Koru are from. Here are my thoughts on who he'd be in the Honkai Star Rail world. Kira is a curious and imaginative character who enjoys exploring the mysteries of the world around him. While he's not as outgoing as Koru, he appreciates quiet moments of reflection and enjoys discovering new subjects, often losing himself in his thoughts. He strikes a balance between introspection and action, like the stars, guiding others without being overly forceful. Overall, Kira is a curious, introspective dreamer with a fascination for the stars and the universe. 3 words that describe his personality would be inquisitive, thoughtful, and imaginative. To me, I'd see him living at the Herta space station. Kira's connection to the stars makes this location ideal for his research and curiosity about the cosmos. The space station is filled with data on star systems, allowing Kira to dive into celestial studies. Kira's fascination with the stars and maps fits the Herta space station, where endless knowledge and star charts are stored. This would also lead me to the profession or role I imagine he could have. Being an astronomer or cartographer on the Herta space station would fit to him. His love for stars and celestial maps could drive his profession, helping navigate the unknown or decipher stellar phenomena. Much like a cosmic explorer or mapmaker, Kira would be tasked with studying star systems and celestial bodies. He enjoys looking at the stars, figuring out constellations, and making maps that guide others, which aligns with his role as a guide or someone who decodes mysteries in space. His quiet fascination would make him a natural at interpreting the unknown. Now for some of his interests or hobbies. As mentioned, Kira enjoys studying star charts, maps, and celestial bodies. He loves spending time alone, contemplating the mysteries of the universe, or observing the night sky to uncover hidden truths. At the same time, he would love spending time exploring different topics, especially astronomy-related ones, and talking to people who share a fascination with the subject. His fascination with the stars fuels his desire to understand the cosmos and the world around him. Moving on to the path that could fit to Kira, to me, this could be erudition or nihility, as these paths focus on knowledge, study, and exploration of the unknown. His role is to decipher the stars, much like a guide to the universe, which fits his inquisitive and thoughtful nature. You can let me know which one you think would suit him better. Feel free to also share your thoughts and ideas on the paths, combat types, professions, and so on for my characters in the comments. I'd love to explore their backstories and personalities more. Now for my thoughts on his combat type, I could see him having the quantum one, since it may represent his fascination with the mysteries of space and time. Quantum energy fits his intellectual and imaginative side, as it ties into unraveling the unseen or hidden aspect of the universe. As for his weapon, Kira might use orbs or books filled with star maps, reflecting his role as a cartographer or astronomer. His weapon could have celestial symbols or constellations as patterns and details, showing his connection to the stars. Next for some Honkai Star Rail characters that remind me of Kira. First we have Herta. She is curious, intelligent, and obsessed with collecting knowledge, and much like Kira's fascination with the stars and the world. While she may not always seem the warmest, her dedication to exploration and curiosity drives her personality. Kira's balance between reflection and discovery is similar to this. As another character, I'd mention Misha. Misha is cheerful, curious, and quietly fascinated by the mysteries around him, especially the world beyond Penacony. Like Kira, he has a soft, thoughtful demeanor and a wonder-filled view of the universe, blending gentle energy with a thirst for discovery. Both characters share a love for exploring what lies beyond the visible. Other than this, Luoka or Jingyuan would remind me of Kira. Finally, I'd like to share more thoughts on Kira's, Koru's, and Yumari's backstories. As mentioned, you can also add your own ideas in the comments. Kira bridges the gap between Yumari and Koru, sharing qualities with both of them. He has Koru's adventurous side, but also Yumari's love for introspection. In their shared history, he could be the one who keeps the trio connected, serving as a guide or mediator. Their dynamic would revolve around balance: the sun, Koru, moon, Yumari, and stars, Kira, each representing a different aspect of exploration and understanding. I could see Kira working closely with Koru sharing his experiences from his travels, and Kira collecting this information, turning it into reports and guides for others. Yumari may also help in getting a better understanding of all the information. Since he is a reflective person, he's able to look at it with another perspective, drawing conclusions and applying the knowledge he has from his own experiences. Here's the relationship dynamic I could see Yumari, Koru, and Kira have in general. For one, for Yumari and Koru, they would have a deep but complex bond. While Yumari is distant and reserved, Koru's outgoing nature could serve as a counterbalance. Koru may try to bring Yumari out of his shell, while Yumari subtly influences Koru to be more thoughtful and introspective. As for Kira, Kira would act as a bridge between the two, understanding both Yumari's need for solitude and Koru's thirst for excitement. His love for stars and maps makes him the one who navigates the relationship between the three, keeping them grounded and connected even when they follow their own paths. And that's it for the 3 splash art illustrations. Which one do you like most visually, but also which character do you find sounds most interesting personality and backstory wise to you? Feel free to let me know your thoughts and feedback in the comments. I'll share full resolution images of these illustrations on my Patreon, where you can also find full screen recorded process videos, for example for drawing a basic character for my Honkai Star Rail Artstyle study I shared in my previous video. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, bye!